So I think what's unique in this situation is, one, the sheer number of animals involved.
What happens if you take every Blightbelly Rat in your Phyrexia all will be one draft? Let's find out on today's edition of Rough Drafts. Alright, Rough Drafts time. We are playing some Phyrexia all will be one, and what do we get here? Darkly Shores is our rare, that's kind of a bust. Indestructible oil counter thing, flyer, lots of white cards, toxic equipment. This is probably pretty good in a toxic deck. Tappers are good, and if we can turn it on, it's especially good. Leaning towards this, let's see what else there is. I think toxic is probably very powerful and limited. Card draw, Maze's Mantle. We'll take the Sinew Dancer. See if we can be some sort of toxic, maybe black, white, green, white. What do we in this deck? Mirror and Safe House, really bad and limited. Tamiel's Logbook is probably fine for an artifact deck. A bunch of affinity style stuff. Blightbelly Rat's not bad. Grizzly Bear with toxic, and it proliferates when it dies. You know, let's see if we can build a toxic deck. Let's head that direction and see if we can make it work. What do we get here? Affinity Pump Spell, bad. Icy Manipulator. Gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. When a artifact or creature goes to the graveyard, put an oil counter on it. White Spell Bomb. That's a way to get a creature through. 4 mana, 2/4 Menace Toxic 2. Anticipate on a stick. I think it's either, probably Skull Bomb over, how good is Hand Cleaver? Yeah, let's take Skull Bomb. It's hard for a Skull Bomb to actually be, Voidwing Hybrid, that card's so good. Can we be 3 colors is a question. Can we actually be 3 colors? I mean, this is toxic, flying, and it comes back if we proliferate. Another Skull Bomb. 4 Mirrored in equipment. Toxic 1, enters the battlefield and you return another permanent you control to its hand. If you do, make a Might with Toxic 1. That's probably not horrible. Oh, so the question is, do we go into blue, or do we just take the Indoctrination Attendant? Like, this is the best card. I mean, I guess we're not married to white, although that is, you know what, let's just take Attendant. Let's stay consistent if we can. Well, Sheoldred's Edict's good removal. Annihilating Glare's fine removal. Target creature indestructible and Death Touch. A ton of red cards. Wow, double red removal spells. This one's not very good. Hexcold Slash is good though. Man, let's just take Sheoldred's Edict. Another fine removal spell. Ward 2, so more of an equipment card than an infect card. I mean, we can take the draw Spell Bomb. I like the Spell Bombs. Like, Spell Bombs are just like fine, cheap value. They're not like super exciting, but I think they're good enough. And if we get enough of them, maybe we turn on some artifact synergies. 6 mana Death Touch, 5/5, enters the battlefield. Each opponent discards a card. If they can't, you gain 4 life. Yeah, we'll just take another Skull Bomb. Skull Bombs for days. Thrumming Bird. We're seeing the blue proliferate stuff come really late. Well, I like Infectious Inquiry. Wow, another draw Skull Bomb too. Maybe we're just... Can we be a Skull Bomb deck? What happens if you just take all the Skull Bombs? We're going to take the card draw though, I think. Wow, wow. Well, this is a way we could splash, and it is toxic. Does no one play Skull Bombs? Like, are Skull Bombs bad? No, they can't be bad. They're so cheap. Well, we're not playing any of this stuff. We'll take the Duress, I guess. Take the Protection Spell. I don't think we're playing that. Serum Snare. Well, we got a lot of Skull Bombs. We got lots of Skull Bombs. There's another one. 2/2 toxic as long as it's your turn. First strike. Another Menace Toxic 2. Another Dune Mover. Maybe we take and a Crawling Chorus. Let's take the Dune Mover now. Like, I think this does open up. Oh my God, Skrelv's Hive. Skrelv's Hive seems kind of unbeatable and limited in a toxic deck. I mean, I would take another Rat. I'd take another Dune Mover, but let's take the Hive. The Hive seems absurd. Vraska's Fault. Each opponent sacks a creature, planeswalker, and gets a poison counter. More Skull Bombs. I mean, let's just take the Rat. Wouldn't mind a Proliferate card or two at some point. I think we're basically just like white-black toxic aggro with a lot of Skull Bombs. Take the Crawling Chorus. We could use some more removal. We haven't hit much removal, like, at all. Death Touch and Lifelink if the opponent's corrupted. Creature from a graveyard on the battlefield under your control, proliferate. You know what? Let's take Terramorphic Expanse. We're getting enough stuff that we maybe could splash like just a little bit of blue, for example, which seems relevant just because of proliferate. I wonder how good Whisper of the Dross is. It does proliferate. That is a free yeah, we'll try it. That's a free poison counter. Green Spellbomb. Ooh, another Sinew Dancer. Okay, I mean, I like how this deck is heading actually as a toxic aggro deck. We'll take the Pestilent Siphoner. This deck's gonna be very aggro. I mean, I feel like one thing we learned, oh, Blightbelly Rat comes back. One thing we learned last time was Infect is very powerful if you can get enough Infect cards in the deck. All we really need, I think, is a couple of removal spells. That's the one thing we're kind of lacking is removal. If we can snag some removal in pack 3, this deck might be the really good. Ooh, the Seed Core. Target 1/1 creature gets +2/+1. I mean, we do have quite a few 1/1s and Skrelvsive. Is there any removal? Toxic 6. Oil counters. The Rib Skiff is probably fine. I don't know if it's great, but it seems fine. If we're straight 2 colors, Terramorphic's not going to be that important. Do we have enough 1/1s to make that work? Wow, we have 4 Blightbelly Rats. 4/4, Toxic 2, Crew 3, draw a card. We're not going to be very good at crewing that. You know what? We're going to take the Seed Core. Let's take the land. Enters the battlefield and pay 2 life if you target creature gets -1/-1. Enchant creature you control gets Toxic 2. When it dies, return it to the battlefield under your... That might actually be good in our deck. Or we can just take more card draw. I kind of like the plan of like... I wouldn't mind Necrogen Communion, but I kind of like the plan of just dumping our hand of toxic stuff, getting in poison damage, and then trying to finish the game with direct poison damage. If these Necrogen Communions wheel, then we're definitely in business. Well, let's... take a 5th Blightbelly Rat. What happens when you draft 5 Blightbelly Rats? No, 6 Blightbelly Rats. Vigilance when it enters the battlefield. If an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, oh. Well, I mean, I think we got to take this. That is, we've been saying what we really need is some removal. We would take another Blightbelly Rat, but Vivisection Evangels, like the signpost uncommon for our archetype. So I think we just got to take it. 5-mana 4/4 when it dies, proliferate. Ooh, okay, Planetary Disruption. All right, wow, we actually hit the removal spells. I was afraid we weren't going to get any, but we found them late. They came through in the end. I mean, I feel like this deck should be busted. I feel like it should be busted. We'll see if it actually is, but I feel like this deck should be really good. Oh my god, another Sinew Dance. Oh wow. Okay, I think this deck's really good. Target creature gets +2/+2. If it's toxic, draw a card. I mean, that's probably fine. I don't know if we want Vraska's Fall. Actually, maybe we just take Charge of the Mites. That's removal and sort of a toxic creature. I don't think we're playing any of this. Do we want the Menace Toxic 2 4-drop? Maybe we just take Necrogen Communion. Well, we get both of them back. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, there's number 6. Number 6 came back anyway. I mean, 6 Blightbelly Rats. This deck's gotta be busted. 6! That is so much proliferate. Okay, so we have to cut some cards. What are we cutting? So move the lands. Oh, we already have the right. So we gotta cut 7 cards? I mean, I guess we can cut some spell bombs, although I like being able to send toxic creatures to the air. 6 Blightbelly Rats. How many creatures do we have? 16, 14 non-creatures. All right, let's think about this. So what are we not cutting? This is, I think I'm on the fence about this. What do we have for removal? So the Sinew Dancers are kind of removal. We can definitely cut a Skull Bomb at least. Whispers of the Dross. Maybe we just get rid of that. That's pretty bad removal. Planetary Disruption's good removal. Skrelvsive's awesome in this deck. We can probably cut a Necrogen Communion. We might cut both of them. Sheoldred's Edict. Dune Mover. Might be unnecessary. That was our like, oh, if we're 3 colors, we might want this card. Do we cut the Vraska's Fall? Probably. Well, it does give a poison counter. Maybe we cut another Skull Bomb. Let's look at our curve. So many 2-drops. This is an aggro deck. It would be greedy to go 16 lands, right? Probably too greedy. 2 Skull Bombs, Crawling Chorus, Sinew Dancer, Planetary Disruption, Skrelvsive, 6 Blightbelly Rats. Yeah, let's get rid of the other Communion. Cut the Communion and what? Cut something else that I wasn't trying to cut. Oh, Siphoner. Yeah, we're not cutting Siphoner. Siphoner's great. I mean, we could cut a Blightbelly Rat. Although, I kind of like the fact that we have so many of them. Maybe we just cut the 4-drop. Yeah, let's do that. Do we still have enough creatures? 14. Plus Skrelvsive kind of makes a creature. And chart. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Is this deck busted? So this is a quick draft because it's the only option available at the moment. I don't know. Maybe Blightbelly Rat's horrible. Maybe it's horrible. We'll see. But we got a lot of them. Need some Blightbelly Rats of your own? Well, you can snag them from our awesome sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. All right, here we go. Match 1. The most toxic deck in the history of Limited. I mean, we're on the draw, but the sand's good. In fact, well, toxic, poison counter, toxic. About it. Also trying to be toxic. Well, let's Crawling Chorus go. If our opponent attacks, I think we will block. Ooh, opponent's also trying to be toxic. Well, play the land, play the Siphoner, pass the turn. Opponent. Opponent ended up with like almost the same deck that we have. No blocks. Poison. Sinew Dancer. Sheoldred's Edict. All right, so we'll just sack the Crawling Chorus and get a Might. Hit our opponent for some Toxic. Play the Blightbelly Rat. Play the Terramorphic. Pass the turn. Wow. Okay. I mean, that is allowed. That is allowed. I don't know if it's worth it, though. We'll get a Plains. These lands do look sweet. So you hit us for 2, but then we get to hit you back for 3. All right. Poison you a bit. Play the land. Play the Attendant. Pick up a Plains. Make a Might pass the turn. Our opponent did turn on their Sinew Dancer. Ooh. Okay, that's big for our opponent. That is big. They have the Attendant. Gets and hits us. Are we losing this race now? Oh, now what do we do? Now what do we do? Because they can tap our stuff. We're at 5, 6, 7. Opponent's at 4. Now, go to combat. This doesn't have Toxic, right? It does not. All right. Go to combat. Do some attacking. This should get us in for 2 poison counters. So opponent goes up to 6. All right. Pass the turn. Also going to be so close. That Vivisection might save for our opponent. Ooh. Okay. Goes to combat. Well, we will up to 7. This has Death Touch, right? Block here. Proliferate you up to 8. I think we got there. Wow, this was close. Siphon you to 9. And then Infection and Inquiry for 10. Whoo! Okay. Got him! All right. Opponent was trying to do literally the same thing we were, but apparently our aggro plan. Opponent had the rares too, and they drew the bombs, and still our janky plan came through. This is what the limited format's going to be about, right? Like, it's just going to be Toxic versus Toxic. I mean, there's other archetypes, but I still think, like, having your opponent start at half their life total is just an inherently powerful effect. Like, that is just a really strong thing to do on a round 2. Can we keep the toxicity flowing? Yeah, all right. I mean, this is okay. At least the Skull Bombs can cycle. Well, land go. Schwamp. Well, land and Blightbelly Rat. Yeah. Hopefully we can get in a hit before it dies. Right now it doesn't proliferate, which is awkward. And Dune Mover. Well, we will definitely send this Blightbelly Rat to the air, I think. Yeah, play the land. Blightbelly Rat, give it flying, draw a card. Poison counter 1. And now our 6 rats can do their work. With so much proliferate, that first poison counter is a big one. Plains hits us. Down 18. 1-4. Now play the land. Play a Blightbelly Rat. Play a Crawling Chorus. Play a Skull Bomb. Pass the turn. Island. Oh, they're playing the big menace thing. And passes. Play the land. Pass the turn. We could use some non-lands. We've drawn plenty of lands this game. Poison counter, draws a card, passes. All right, Seed Core. We will pass the turn. Wow, we are flooding to the max here. Opponent enters the battlefield. Each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you gain 4 life. Well, opponent's definitely playing big stuff. We'll discard a swamp. Thankfully, we've drawn a million lands. Opponent passes. Planar Disruption. Is that worth playing? So if we cast Phyrexcia's Fall, they're gonna sack some. I mean, I guess we just pass again. Doesn't have poison, right? It does not. Oh, we really need one more poison counter. Yeah, let's block and proliferate. We need to get 3 poison counters to turn on this Seed Core. Plus, we can draw Skull Bomb the rat back. So add a poison counter. Phyrexcia's Fall. Give you a poison counter. Yeah, sacks the Dune Mover. We untap. Draw Skull Bomb. Get back the rat. Draw a card. And let's just replay the rat. So we've got our opponent corrupted, which is nice. Getting our opponent corrupted means we can use the Seed Core now. Yeah, we'll just sack the chorus, get a replacement. And Vraska's fall. Sack the rat. All right, opponent removal for days. Now this might be bad. This might be bad because we can't block. Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, opponent's gonna get in a big attack here. Hopefully they're about done with stuff. Gets and hits us. We drop to 10. Up to 7 poison. Opponent has a Blightbelly Rat. Well, we untap. The issue is so many of our creatures can't block. I think that's gonna beat us. So many creatures that can't block. Play the Attendant. Pick up the Rat. So if our opponent swings, Menace Toxic 2, yeah, I think, this is a bummer, but I think we gotta Planar Disrupt the Head Cleaver. Yeah, not feeling good though. Not feeling good. Opponent gonna sack to draw a card. Okay, random oil counter thing. Oh, yeah, that does it. Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, that was unfortunate. Maybe we shouldn't have kept that hand. I don't know. We kept the double spell bomb, but we ended up just flooding out and we didn't get any traction. We really want to be more aggro. Our deck is really built to be aggro, and we just didn't get our didn't get off to a very fast start. So maybe we should have just shipped it. That might have been the smartest thing to do. On to round 3. So far, it is 100% toxic decks. Apparently, that's all people play. Well, I mean, I think we keep this on the draw, even though we are color screwed. All right. Well, hopefully we draw more planes. Hopefully we draw a Black Source one of these days. Well, play a land, Sinew Dancer. This is the first Sinew Dancer we've seen. We got 3 Sinew Dancers in our deck. We just have not been able to find them. It hits us. Black mana, please. For Mirrodin. Well, this is kind of black mana. Not exactly the black mana we wanted, but it does let us play a rat past the turn. Yeah, the mana screw is brutal here. We really want to Vraska's Fall before we Planar Disruption, or else our opponent just sacks whatever we Planar Disruption. Our opponent's really thinking about something. What is going on? I don't know, it's like they're sitting there just like frantically scrolling around the screen. You see all these different things lighting up. All right, after all that, it is a 4 Mirrodin equipment. No blocks. Down to 16. Well, this does get us black mana eventually. Oh, so slow. So slow, this Terramorphic. This is not looking good. I think we're in trouble. Yeah, I mean, I guess we got to put this on the flyer, but we still can't even attack. Oh, this has been so bad. I mean, we're going to need a comeback. I guess we shouldn't have kept that hand. We were trusting on the draw we'd hit our colors, but oh, it took way too long. We have a million lands, but can't cast anything, which is the worst feeling. Frantically hovering around the battlefield again. What is happening about it? Yeah. Got the itchy trigger finger over there. After the aggressive hovering, decides to attack for 3. And plays Toxic Double Strike Dude. And moves the equipment over. Oh, and that has flying? That's annoying. Well, yeah, play Indoctrination Attendant. Pick up the Planar Disruption. Pass the turn. We still can't get in. We still can't get in. Well, at least it's a 3/4. Frantically scrolling across the battlefield. Wow, we have 0 poison counters on our opponent. That's a shame. If we can get some poison counters, this Sinew Dancer can start doing some work. Okay, goes attacking. Yeah, we dropped to 4. That was a big attack. Enjor Kadeen. We draw land. Well, play the land. Vraska's Fall, our opponent. Get in with Indoctrination Attendant. I think we're just dead though, right? We're a poison counter short. Yeah, we can't do it. We can stop this, but then they move over the equipment. Yeah, not fast enough. Toxic, this is your chance. If you're gonna do it, this is your time. I thought this deck was gonna be really good and our first round went really well, but now we've lost 2 in a row. Although I think it's really mostly the variance. Like, we just haven't been able to cast our spells. So I think that's the real issue. We just haven't been able to cast stuff. Okay, this actually, we win the die roll, first time in a while, and we have a good curve. Like, this is the kind of hand that we're hoping our deck presents. We get to immediately start getting in toxic counters. We get to play the Blightbelly Rat. This is what we want to be doing. Opponent, land, Incision Glider. We will play the Seed Core. Make our opponent sack. Play the Spell Bomb. Toxicia, up to 3. All right, opponent's been corrupted, which is big. That is relevant. Opponent plays on land. 4 Mirrodin equipment. Well, let's draw a couple cards. Play the land and pass the turn. Opponent's up to 4 poison counters. And we got a Blightbelly Rats for days. 4 days. Opponent. Menace equipment thing. Another 4 Mirrodin equipment. Yup. Passes. Nothing has flying, right? Let's play Indoctrination Attendant. Pick up a Plains. Replay the Plains. Play the Sinew Dancer. Pass the turn. Now we get to start tapping stuff down, which is nice. And we have a lot of poison counters. The rats are finally coming through. This would actually be a good Chromonix deck, the new Rat Lord. If there was any deck that could make it work in limited, it'd be this one. Opponent Indoctrination Attendant. Okay. Gonna do the same thing. Picks up a land, gets a might, replays the land. Opponent passes. Well, we'll play a Plains. Opponent has 1 mana. So let's, okay, tap the Indoctrination Attendant. Skull Bomb. The Blightsteel Rat. Draw a card. Go to combat. Attack with every... I mean, we're just going for it. We are going for it. Opponent blocks. I mean, this is fine because we have the Seed Core. So we can pump one of our 1/1s. Opponent's realizing that the Seed Core is actually really good here. Opponent blocks and blocks. Well, we will Seed Core the Crawling Chorus. Hit you to 9. More importantly, 6 poison counters. We need like 1 more poison counter, and then we might be able to just rat the rest of the way. Finally drawing one is super helpful. Well, I like the little corrupt counter, so you know if it's turned on. We're super close. Opponent. Ooh, all right, kills the rat and the Sinew Dancer. That's pretty good for our opponent. We'll give you a poison counter, up to 7. Okay, we get a poison counter. Draw Skull Bomb's pretty good. Play the land, go to combat attack. We're gonna swing with both, I think. Swing with both. Opponent blocks and blocks. Well, we get to Seed Core. Play a rat. Play a rat. Play a draw Skull Bomb. Pass the turn. I mean, opponent's getting in the tough position where they can't really afford to kill our stuff, but they can't afford to not kill our stuff. These rats are going to be a problem. The swarm of rats, if they block it and they die, we proliferate. If they don't block it, then they take toxic damage. So the toxic rats, I think, are going to put our opponent in a really tough position here. Okay, another one in Aspirants. Opponent passes. We draw land. Well, yeah, let's Skull Bomb. Get back a rat. Draw Crawling Chorus. Do we just attack with the rats is the question. They're gonna die, but we get to proliferate. Well, play the land. Play Blightbelly Rat. Oh, wait, no. Oh, why did it tap that way? That was the worst auto tapping. All right, pass the turn. Next turn, we just have lethal, unless our opponent can do something here. To the rat attack. Our 6 rats finally paying off. Dune Mover. Okay, that does not change the equation. Doesn't take a land. Opponent is like the pacifism. Oh, we draw another one. All right, I mean, go to combat. Attack with the rats. Blocks. But this means our opponent dies, right? Blocks, blocks, blocks. Makes our rat indestructible. Okay, that works for a turn. That is a sneaky little line for our opponent. Proliferate, proliferate, and guess what, opponent? We drew a rat. Go. About it, land. I mean, opponent needs a miracle. They need a miracle. The plague is coming. I mean, I think we got it. I mean, proliferate, not bad. It's a pretty good grizzly bear. Not the worst grizzly bear. No, sweet, sweet. Finally, the rats come through. Rough drafts time. We're on to round 5. Can our toxic deck? Oh, we're gonna keep this. On the draw. Again, only 1 color of mana, which has been an issue. Up against artifacts, looks like. Black mana, please. All right, there's black mana. All right, that's good. Get down the Pestilent Siphoner. Pass the turn. About it. No block. Down 18. All right. More equipment shenanigans. Well, hit you with the Siphoner. Play the Spell Bomb. Play the Terramorphic Expanse. Pass the turn. They're being pretty aggro. Opponent hits us. Down to 16 and down to 14. Oh, and the flying one. That's a problem. Grab a swamp. Probably should have played that pre-combat. Opponent passes. Well, land. Indoctrination Attendant. Pick up the Skull Bomb. Oh, we really need to toxic our opponent so we can turn on this Evangelist. How do we get enough poison counters? How do we get enough to wow, opponent's just all the equipment all the time. Attacks with everything. Am I missing something? Are we getting blown out if we block here? But if we don't block, we're just gonna die. Oh, that is Menace. Blazing Crescendo. And hits a land. And we're at 7. I'm gonna have to go back and look at our draft. I'm very curious now. Yeah, we're just dead, right? We're just super dead. The 4 Mirrodin equipment have looked good in limited. Yeah, opponent's not toxic. This is 4 mana. Yeah, we're dead. I gotta go back and I gotta look. Well, I don't know what to say about that one. We played against basically 2 archetypes. It's either all in aggro equipment or all in toxic. We ended up going 2 and 3, which obviously not the ideal record. Maybe we just didn't have enough rats. Maybe that's the problem. So my first impressions of this format is ridiculously aggressive. Like maybe Zendikar level aggressive, where if you're blocking, you're losing. There's a lot of creatures that literally can't block. There's a lot of these equipments that are really rewarding you for being aggressive. Toxic, obviously, doesn't play defense very well. So I think that's something to keep in mind with this limited format is being aggro is going to be pretty important, I think. Every single deck that we played today was essentially an aggro deck. We played one other black-white toxic deck that was a little bit mid-rangey, but every deck that we've played is just attack, aggro. So I think that's going to be worth keeping in mind. Obviously, would have been nice to have a slightly better record. 2 and 3, not the most exciting record. But I think that's an interesting first impression of the format. I think our deck, I feel like it's good. Maybe it's not good enough. Like in defense of our deck, we had 0 rares. We had our one rare was like the Seed Core. And well, I guess we had the Skrelv's Hive, but we never actually drew the Skrelv's Hive. I feel like there was a bit of variance thrown in. We got 3 Sinew Dancers, which I think 3. What is the actual math? I'm curious in a limited deck. We never do stats on limited. In a 40 card deck with 3 Sinew Dancers, what are our odds of having one in our opening hand? 44%. And our odds of having one by like turn 3, 58%. So I think we didn't see many Sinew Dancers considering how many are in our deck. And I think that's one of our best cards. Yeah, we had a little mana trouble. The Seed Core, our one rare, it was good in some cases, but we actually like when you lose the die roll, and I think the die roll is going to be very important to this format, but when you lose the die roll, it's actually pretty hard to get in enough poison counters to turn on Corrupted. We got to see that really being the determining factor. Like when we win the die roll and we get in those first poison counters, then it turns on all the rest of our decks and we just proliferate to the win with our rats. On the other hand, when our opponent's on the play and they get the first creatures down, because again, it's a super aggro curve out format. Everyone's playing like 2 drops and 1 drop. It's not dirtling around at all. But when it goes the other direction, we found it pretty difficult to actually get in the damage and be able to take out, get enough poison counters to turn on Corrupt and turn on our Sinew Dancers and turn on our Vivisection Evangelist and all that stuff. So definitely an interesting format. I don't know, maybe the 4 Mirrodin deck is better than the Toxic deck, but based on what we saw today, those are the archetypes. Like everyone's either playing 4 Mirrodin equipment or some sort of mostly black-white, but there are other combinations. We saw a little blue, we saw an Esper with a splash Toxic deck, but I think maybe that's what Wizards is going for. Like that's probably the idea. Mirrodin versus Phyrexia, you kind of got the bad guys versus the good guys, the poison versus the equipment. So I think that's what this format's going to be about. So keep that in mind. My first impression is be aggro, and try to be in an archetype. Like, don't end up in the middle with a mixture of stuff. Be a toxic deck, be an equipment deck, pick one of those archetypes and just go all in on it. And you can see the synergy be rewarded, where you have this stuff that's making your equipment cheaper. You have for toxic, corruption, turning on a bunch of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But Anyway, that's what happened when you draft 6 copies of the Toxic Rat. Maybe we needed more. Maybe we needed less. I don't know, but that's been our rough drafts for today. Our first impression of the format. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.